The downfall of Bungie and PlayStation in recent times is absolutely legendary. It could have been prevented at every opportunity, but you can't help but sit back and laugh as the Western video game industry just completely collapses in on itself. What's up, guys? Hope y'all are having a great day today, just full of so much positivity and happiness, because today we're talking about yet another terrible modern video game, and today on the chopping block is none other than Bungie's Marathon. And you know what's even more painful than having to play Marathon? The fact that I got banned from live streaming on YouTube. For some reason, I can't live stream, but I can make videos and make community posts. So, no strikes or warnings on my account, by the way. So, click the link in the pinned comment to go find the new place I will be streaming at for the time being at the very least. And yeah, give your boy a follow over there because I will be doing nightly streams just as I was doing on YouTube. Maybe a little bit more wild. Who knows? But anyway, getting back to this wonderful game we're talking about, Marathon Server Slam is officially upon us right before the game releases, and man, do I have some thoughts. First and foremost, bro, this game is boring. Like, I have never really gotten the appeal of the whole extraction shooter gameplay loop personally. I've never really played Tarkov, I've never tried Arc Raiders, I've seen gameplay of both, and they've never really appealed to me in any way, shape, or form. But Marathon is a different type of visual vomit that genuinely just is repulsive to look at, bro. Take those games, make them even more clunky, and you have Marathon. I really don't understand what the appeal is that they were going for with this particular game, especially coming from Bungie, of all people. Like, Bungie used to give us a story-rich campaign, they used to give us a dedicated classic multiplayer experience, as well as a third mode like you would find in Marathon. Instead, the only thing that's releasing here is the extraction shooter game mode, which to me was just genuinely miserable to play from start to finish. Now, I successfully extracted 3 times while playing this game, and in all 3 instances, I did not encounter a singular enemy player whatsoever. I killed a bunch of NPCs, but no enemy players whatsoever. I mean, you're kind of just wandering around aimlessly, opening up boxes, picking up items, hitting inventory capacity way too fucking fast, and the game just is generally not fun, man. I don't know. I think that's probably the biggest sin that you could say for a video game, because there's plenty of bad games that I've played that were actually fun. Code Violet, for example. Absolutely terrible game, still fun as hell to play because of how bad it was, because ironically, it was enjoyable to play through. Marathon, on the other hand, just feels clunky, boring, and like a chore simulator. Like, you're just opening boxes for the sake of opening boxes to pick up arbitrary loot, to shoot NPC enemies that barely pose a threat whatsoever, with ambiguous tasks scattered across the map that no one knows how to fucking do, and I don't have the care to invest enough time in to figure out, because the gameplay loop here is not fun. The only thing that's on your mind when you're playing Marathon is this shit over yet? Like, can we just go ahead and extract? Like, why are we even doing this shit? It feels incredibly pointless, incredibly unfun, and I genuinely would not recommend this to anybody. I mean, honestly, probably just from looking at it, you probably figured out that this game was or was not for you, and personally, this shit is definitely not for me. Now, when it comes to the gameplay, you have a mixture of advanced movement as well as a very clunky, cumbersome feel that, Bungie typically doesn't have in their video games. Even with classic Halo, when there wasn't a sprint, you still felt like you were moving fairly quickly through the environment. In Destiny, you definitely had a lot of advanced movement techniques in order to make traversal through the environment much more fast-paced. And in Marathon, you do have similar abilities, like you can jump and dash, which does allow you to travel short distances fairly quickly, but the sprint system is based on a fucking temperature cooldown that requires you to wait about 2 to 3 times as long as you were just sprinting in order for it to cool down. It genuinely fucking sucks. On top of that, there's fall damage while traversing the environment, because apparently futuristic sci-fi motherfuckers who are traversing space still have to worry about snapping their ankles when they fall, even though they have thrusters and advanced movement systems in their suit. Make that make sense. Now, when it comes to inventory management, that's basically the name of the game. The entire point of the game is to go around, pick up a bunch of random shit from crates, put it in your inventory, and take it back as you extract in order to get money, spend that money on gear, upgrades, ammunition, and do it all over over again, rinse and repeat. Now, I'm guessing there's supposed to be some sort of story here because they kind of allude to the fact that, like, the Marathon colonial ship is lost in this galaxy and they lost contact, and you're trying to basically fight against the evil EUSC corporation, and it really sucks, bro. Like, I don't know why they didn't do a dedicated campaign for this, because it would have really given people a chance to actually give a fuck about what's happening in the world around them. Instead, you're basically dropped into this visual vomit world design that genuinely just looks terrible, bro. Like, I understand kind of the aesthetic they were going for when it comes to Marathon, but I don't really think they did a good job with it in terms of just eye appeal. Now, if they're going for a super dystopian, almost psychedelic, vomit-inducing aesthetic, then I guess they absolutely nailed it. But when it comes to me, I really do not like the way that this game looks. Every environment looks like it's made of plastic. Everything looks super bright and neon unnecessarily. It's ugly. I don't know how else to put it. It's like clean but ugly at the same time. There's something very, very unnerving about the way this game looks, and maybe that's what they were going for. The whole sci-fi dystopian look where everything looks bright, colorful, and clean, but in reality, it's actually rotten and evil at its core. We've seen that theme 100 times before, like with, Blade Runner, for example, with all the bright neon lights, but when you get beyond those, it's scummy, disgusting, and run down, and you genuinely wouldn't want to live there, but from the outside looking in, it looks impressive and futuristic. So again, maybe they're going for kind of like that dystopian look, but I don't really see myself wanting to whip around in this super bright neon colored environment constantly for an extended period of time. I genuinely did not enjoy the gameplay loop of this game whatsoever. Opening boxes wears out its welcome very quickly. It has this very annoying mechanic where everything in the box doesn't appear immediately. You have to wait for each individual item to load in before you can pick it up, because that fucking makes sense for some reason. On top of that, your inventory space is incredibly limited. You will max out your inventory in the first few minutes, and then you're stuck playing inventory management for the rest of the, extraction round. Now, let's actually talk about the extraction mechanic. So, extraction points will appear across the map. You'll go place down the beacon and wait there for about 30 seconds to a minute for the beacon to activate, and it will basically extract your matter off the plant. It's very fucking weird, but anyway, you extract with your gear. It auto sells, the valuable items that you pick up, and any gear-related items you pick up automatically get saved into your inventory. You're then granted the opportunity to sell individual items. You can go into the armory and purchase additional weapon, ammo packs, consumables like health and shield recharges, and things of that nature. So it's pretty par for the course when it comes to the extraction shooter gameplay model, to the best of my knowledge. Again, not really a genre I've ever wanted to interact with, and Marathon is definitely not changing that whatsoever, but I just found this incredibly boring, dude. I'm just waiting for where's the fun? Where is the fun here? I was getting a similar effect to when I played Highguard, where in the beginning of the match, you're running around this massive open area, picking up a bunch of random items, and there's nobody. You don't encounter anybody. You're lucky if you even encounter your team, and that's if you deliberately stick with them, but even if you split up, there's not really much risk because NPCs are brain dead easy, and on top of that, the likelihood that you're going to run into an enemy team is just basically non-existent, man. At least in my 3 rounds that I played, I didn't see anybody, and no, I was not playing on the beginner map where there was a limited number of other people. So don't even throw that at me, dude. I know which mode I picked. I picked the one that was deliberately not the beginner one, and I don't know, man. I guess there's little objectives you can do around the map, but they're super ambiguous. It's not really clear what you're supposed to do or why you should even care in the first place. Again, I think it would have done miracles for this game to have an actual dedicated campaign to get people versed into this universe, to make them actually have a reason to give a fuck in the first place, because I've never played a Marathon game before. I have zero attachment to this franchise, and I really have no clue what's happening in this particular universe. So it would have been cool to actually get an idea of what's going on, and Bungie, a studio as large as them, could have easily scraped together a campaign to at least get people introduced to the actual setting and story and background of Marathon as a franchise. And on top of that, I really just don't see this being a compelling enough offering in order to win over people who are playing Tarkov or Arc Raiders right now, because no pun intended, are they just going to drop everything and start over on a brand new game that, visually speaking, at least to me, is genuinely repulsive, dude. I I cannot stress that fact enough. This game looks disgusting when you're playing it, just in a very deeply unnerving way, which again, maybe that's what they were going for, but I really don't want any part of it, man. It looks like plastic toys, neon colors, and just sci-fi slop all mixed up into one. It is a genuinely repulsive game to look at, and I really can't stress that enough. But is anybody realistically going to drop everything on one of those games, pick up this game that really does nothing unique compared to the other two, except maybe having a more sci-fi setting than the others, and say, you know what, I was really enjoying Arc Raiders, but now I'm going to spend $40 to play Marathon, which really has nothing special to it from a gameplay perspective, at least based on the gameplay I've seen of all three games. I mean, you have like your kind of Destiny-like special abilities, which maybe for some people might be a unique enough twist in order to win them over, but I really just don't see much compelling here to warrant going out and buying a brand new game that basically does the exact same thing as the game you're already playing right now. And on top of that, I feel like there's too high of a learning curve that it's going to scare off the casuals like yours truly almost immediately, and they're not going to bother wasting the time in order to see if once they play enough of this game, they will eventually get invested or not. I think this beta test or server slam, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is probably going to seal the deal for a lot of people who are on the fence that they really don't want to buy this game. Or maybe they'll just go and play Ark instead, which is noticeably cheaper, getting a free content update on the day that Marathon releases, and is probably going to have a much larger, long-lasting player base in the long run. So I really don't know where this game fits in. I think Bungie really fumbled the bag on this one. They should have made this game with a dedicated campaign. They should have made this game with a dedicated traditional multiplayer experience. I know you're still capable of making that shit, Bungie, no matter how much you tried to destroy Destiny 2 PvP. I know deep down you still have the capability to make a first-person shooter PvP experience. But on top of that, it should have also had the third mode that was the extraction shooter that we have currently as Marathon. So this to me just feels like a half-assed attempt to jump on yet another trend that will eventually fucking fail, man. We're looking at Concord 4.0. What are we at this point? So I really don't see a path forward for this game whatsoever. Highguard came and went like a fart in the wind. It lingered for a little while, it stank like shit, and now it's gone. And I think Marathon is headed down a similar path, and Highguard, to its credit, was free. This game is $40. So you have to ask yourself, is this a game that you see yourself going out and dropping $40 on? Because I sure as shit don't, man. If this beta was any indicator of my enjoyment of Marathon or the extraction shooter genre in general, I'm definitely gonna pass on this one. But, you know, I don't really think I had high expectations going in, to be fair, and this basically cemented the pre-existing thoughts that I had before I actually played the beta. So, I don't know, guys. This is a hard pass for me. This is yet another slop-tastic title from another AAA studio that proves that the AAA Western video game industry is completely fucking washed, bro. But anyway, have you played Marathon? Have you given the beta or server slam a try? And what were your thoughts on the game? I'm always interested to know your thoughts in the comment section below on whatever game it is we are talking about on the channel today. And as always, guys, if you did enjoy this wonderful slop tier video from yours truly, make sure to drop a like on it. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, check the pinned comment down below in order to go follow me on Kick. I will be streaming there until further notice because for whatever reason, again, YouTube has basically disabled my ability to live stream with 0 strikes and 0 warnings on my channel whatsoever. So I have no fucking clue, bro. But, you know, go follow me there. I will be continuing to stream. So go check me out and drop me a follow over there. Be greatly appreciated. But as always, I do want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video and for all the recent support as well. You guys are the fucking best, and I really do appreciate it. So with that shit said, I will catch you guys next time.